Okay, so this is going to be an event shop PSA. It's not an event guide for two reasons, actually. One, as I've said repeatedly, I'm not doing event guides anymore because the wiki exists. And the wiki is really good for event information. They're up to date for information, and they've actually gone back and filled out a whole load of missing information that wasn't there before, and have brought that up to the standard for what they are now doing for event information. So they are a really, really good resource for event information. So use the wiki if you want to know about the events. The other reason it's not an event guide is, well, I kind of covered it before. I say kind of because it wasn't actually an event guide. It was more of me briefly talking about the event, going through the event and clearing the event. It was kind of more of a let's play. So yeah, if you want to kind of like look at what's in the event and what happens with the bosses and things, then those are just clearing videos so you can just look at them. I mean, they're fine. I like the music in them, but they are what they are. This was before I went down a particular direction and actually went and did proper guides and stuff. So yeah, it's what it is. So this, as I said, is an event shop PSA because people are asking what should they be getting from the event shop and what should they be prioritising from the event shop. So let's start from the top with Tsui Kakou. Now, if you want Zuikaku, I would really hold off from getting her straight away. I would save up your tokens and then get her after the event. Two reasons really. Number one, you can get her from the gacha. So yeah, you can get her from construction. She's got a 2% crafting rate. We know this from the Japanese server releasing the rates. So they are really good at releasing the crafting rates. So 2%. Better than a 0.7% rate. Hint, hint. So yeah, just playing a bit of shade there. But yeah, you've got a reasonable chance of getting it through the construction, and she also drops from map B3 and D3. Very, very slim chance of getting her from those worlds, but yeah, reasonable rate of getting her from the construction, so just hold off from getting her till the end of the event if you haven't got her through the other methods. Then we get to the equipment, because obviously the equipments are going to be a priority. First, let's talk about the 410mm gun. Because gods are great, gods are best, gods aren't always the best thing in the game. Okay, if you've watched Hibike Euphonium, Sound Euphonium, you should know there's such a thing as a dud gold. This is a dud gold. It's actually the worst gun in the game. The purple is amazing. The purple is one of the best battleship guns in the game. And one of the reasons for that is because it's HE ammo, high explosive ammo. And this is why ammo type is important. Because the gold gun is, I'm going to probably butcher this, Shanshiki ammo. Basically, it's the beehive shot, it's the scatter shot. It's the one that just fragmented when fired from the gun, and it was used in anti-air and other things. So it's hilarious, and you can get it and use it for the lols, but only if you've absolutely cleared out the shop. People who have bought it on the Chinese servers and Japanese servers bought it when they cleared out the shop, and they bought it when they cleared out the shop in the rerun. Otherwise, they just skipped it. It was just not worth getting. People did accidentally buy it beforehand and then realised what it was and how bad it was and instantly regretted it. It's that bad. This is also another lesson on how damage works in the game. People will look at damage for guns and say, okay, damage for a shell times the amount of shells, and we will take that as the total damage, and that's the damage the gun does. That's not exactly true. For example, you've got to consider the scatter of the shells, so try and keep it fairly separate. This is the perfect example. It's 22 damage per shell for 22 shells. If you were to multiply it, then yeah, you've got yourself a reasonable amount of damage. But as I said, it doesn't work that way. It's a scatter shot. It's scattered all over the place. So it's individual shells doing individual 22 damage everywhere, which is how the actual shells work. So this is a very good lesson on how guns work. So yeah, it's perfect for understanding how guns work because it's the extreme case. The problem is, it's so extreme that you end up with the entire screen getting flooded with 22, 22, 22, 22, 22, 22. Although it's not actually 22 because there is, of course, then firepower added into it. So, yeah. But you're not actually getting a reasonable amount of damage. I'll probably insert a bit of footage of this gun in action, and then you can see just what it's like for yourself, and then you can see just why you need to avoid it. It's not going to be winning any damage contests for you. So I will do comparisons for these guns. So yeah, I'll insert that somewhere around here. Okay, so first we've got the 410 purple. So 3,400 damage with the crit. And here we don't have a crit, and it's going to be 1,700 for the lead shot, and then the follow-up is 1,400. And we do have a duplicate for it. So here's the duplicate shot. Again, it's 1,700 and then 1,400. Next is the gold, so that's the Shanshiki, and look at the spread and look at the low numbers. This is a crit for 300 damage. And you'll notice a lot of these shells are actually missing because of the spread, and this one is 200 damage. But again, look at how wide it's spreading. Right, so let's move on to the next pieces of equipment. The Repu. The Repu is a really good fighter plane. Now, I'd say it's really good. It pretty much matches up with the Supermarine Seafang and the F6F Hellcat. So yeah, it's really good. It's top tier. It's worth getting. If you got it, you won't be disappointed in getting it. It's fairly cheap in the item shop. So yeah. It's not kind of like overpowered, it's not outstanding, it's solid, it fits in well with those other planes. So, yeah. I don't think there's more I can say about that one. It's just a really good, solid fighter. So, let's talk about the big one. The Type 93 Oxygen Torpedo. This is the one you want to get. This is the one you want to save for. This one is overpowered. If there's nothing else in the equipment shop that was overpowered, then this one is. If there's nothing else in the equipment shop worth getting, this single piece of equipment is worth getting. Seriously. This is the best piece of equipment in there. It's legendary. That should tell you everything. I mean, there are only a few pieces of legendary equipment in this game. There's the magnetic there is the magnetic torpedoes, there is this, and then there's the Z flag. This earns itself the legendary status because it is so overpowered. Plus 100 torpedo stat. Maxed out its plus 100 torpedo stat. Yeah. Seriously. Base level is 40 torpedo stat. It's extremely costly to level to the max. It's extremely costly to level to plus 100. So yeah, you get it to plus 10 equipment and it's going to cost you a lot in plates. It's going to cost you a lot in gold, but it's worth doing because it's amazing. It's obscene. It's obscenely good, and yeah, if you're running torpedo fleets, this is the equipment piece you want, and this is gonna just take your damage to the next level. This is the best item piece that you can get for destroyers or light cruisers, or even some of the heavy cruisers like the Sakura Empire heavy cruisers. So there are certain fleets that really benefit from this. Seriously, it's amazing. In the future, when World 10 comes out, you can get Jintsu. Jintsu with this, it's incredible. So you can see, just looking at her, why it's so OP. I mean, it's just beyond words. I mean, look at her. So anybody who's running torpedo fleets, this is the must-have item. And then obviously you come to the furniture, and the furniture obviously boosts happiness in the dormitory, and if you like the furniture, get it. So yeah, it's low priority and it is what it is. So that's basics for the shop. I mean, tech boxes are tech boxes and everything else we're familiar with. So yeah, I think pretty much everything's covered there. Nothing else really needs worth talking about. Highest priority is definitely going to be the torpedo, and if anybody wants Tsui Kakou, as said, hold on until the end of the event before getting her. The 410 gun, avoid it like the plague unless you really want it for collection reasons and you've cleared out the rest of the shop. The Repu, I would get that after the torpedo, or unless you're not really wanting to do torpedo boats, I would still get it after the torpedo because you might change your mind and go for torpedo fleets. But the Repu is really nice and things, so you won't go wrong getting it. But if you do miss it, then you won't feel too bad missing out on it because there are still alternatives. So yeah. So that's basically the equipment in a nutshell. Hopefully you can get all of these. Hopefully it's not going to be too much of a grind. There are plenty of ways of getting the points in the game, so yeah, just do what you can. Farm what you can. Best place to farm is World B, so yeah. And good luck. Hopefully you can clear the event. Hopefully you've got World B already sorted out and you're going to progress well with the hard modes. Hard modes aren't essential, but they are a good challenge, and yeah, just try it, have fun, and don't get too stressed out. And let me know how you get on. So fingers crossed that you can do all of the event and do the hard modes. So